This is another episode of Dangerous Ideas. My name is Shawn Kanungo. I'm an innovation strategist. What we do is we break down concepts and frameworks that will change your life. Oh, wow. Hey, everyone. This is another episode of Dangerous Ideas, and incredibly excited to bring this short, succinct podcast for you with some really dangerous ideas. Now, to start off with, I'm going to drop an episode from Tim Ferriss's podcast, talking to Jon Batiste. And now, I'm not a Jon Batiste fan. If you don't know who he is, he's an incredible artist, Grammy award-winning artist. And this podcast episode with Tim Ferriss and Jon, a number of years ago, maybe it was last year, absolutely incredible. I listened to this on one speed. I usually listen to things on two speed. This was on one speed. And there was an incredible line from Tim Ferriss bringing in an insight from an astrophysicist. And I just love how Mr. Batiste just like sunk in those words. And I think they're incredibly prophetic. And I'm going to riff on it for a little bit, but let's drop the clip.
There's something about going through the fire that is so required, and something about suffering that is so essential. This idea that we're meant to run from pain or run from difficult things and find the most leisurely and completely frictionless existence possible is such a lie.
Yeah.
It's not just a lie because it's not possible, but if it were possible, that would kill you the most.
It would rob you in so many ways, which is, of course, easy for me to say sitting in this comfortable chair right now. You're in the midst of it. It's sometimes hard to see. At the same time, there was an astrophysicist, Jan Levin, who was on the podcast some time ago, and I'm going to butcher this quote, but it's more the concept for me that has really stuck. She said something along the lines of, I used to look for the underlying path that would help me navigate around obstacles. And then I realized there is no underlying path. Like, the obstacles are the path through which you discover yourself, through which you learn, through which you grow. Like, that is the path.
Just like seeing his face is incredible. You know, we live in a world, we live in a world obsessed with comfort. Everything around us is designed to be easier, faster, frictionless, seamless, 24/7. And what we start to believe is that this life is the best life, that this is a comfortable life. But the truth is that comfort doesn't make you who you are. Really, you have to be able to sink in the mud. And, there's a lot of studies that have been coming out over the last number of months. The fact that, ChatGPT gives you the answers. There's an MIT study that just came out that says ChatGPT essentially makes us dumber. And the reality is that it does in a way, right? Part of wrestling with an idea, part of understanding the issues, part of asking different questions around it is because we're making ourselves uncomfortable. And when you get everything at your fingertips, you're actually not you're not going through that mud. You're not building something that's that's hard. And really, the greatest opportunities come from this idea of suffering. There's this great quote from Marcus Aurelius, and I know this has been quoted many times, those of you who are into Stoicism. He says, the impediment for action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. And it's just this idea that, Ryan Holiday has this book called Obstacle is the Way. And, I think this astrophysicist is essentially describing what obstacle is the way is all about. It's the idea that we have to put ourselves through these hardships in order to create opportunities and possibilities for ourselves. And it's a reminder that we have to step into that fear at the end of the day. And I just loved like that interaction between both of them because they were really vibing during that conversation. I encourage you guys to listen to that. But it's a great reminder that, we have to, the thing that's in front of us that is hard to do, you just have to go off and just confront it. And I've been trying to wrestle with that with myself as I've been, I just been trying to push myself a little bit more with some of the initiatives that are in front of me, and trying to expand my, I've just been trying to expand what I've been doing on a day-to-day basis. I've been trying to push myself outside of the motions, whether it's tackling different projects that I haven't tackled before, and it's forcing me to do things that are uncomfortable for myself. Like I remember last night, for example, I had this call with some people in Malaysia. I had some people call with these folks in India, and I really did not want to do it, especially at 10 o'clock at night when I was tired. We just had a full day with the kids. I had this play date over, but it was unlocking a side of me and a topic that I normally don't discuss and I don't normally address. And after I was done that call, I felt so much better about myself because I understood this topic a little bit more. I wrestled with some questions by asking these questions to, some of the consultants I've been working with. And you know what? The obstacle, I reminded myself after listening to this podcast, is that the obstacle is the way. And so to me, it's a great reminder. All right. So this next podcast clip is from an incredibly famous episode of Kevin Hart on Joe Rogan, because he was on one that day. And if you want to listen to one of the most inspiring episodes, go back to Kevin Hart on Joe Rogan, and he was absolutely on one. And in this clip, he talks about this idea of levels, of life just being levels. Let's drop it.
I will stand on a fucking building and say this, man. It's a game. This thing is serious, but it's got a game-like quality to it. This thing called life. It's got a game-like quality to it. And if you don't fucking see that, you better open your eyes. You better open your fucking eyes, because in this life, the moves that we're making allow you to do more, to get more, to see more, travel more, explore, experience. Or some people are dealt a different hand and it's tougher. It's a darker road, and damn it, I want to get out of this. I can't. I'm doing, how do I get out? Fuck, I made it. Oh, it looked like I wasn't supposed to get out, but I'm out. Everybody say you can't get out of this shit. I did. I'm out. I'm one of the people that got out. It's got a real game-like quality to it. And that doesn't mean that you play with it. Understand what I'm saying here. It means that you can do what you put your mind to. And if you continue to put your mind to it, the game opens up new levels. Tell me I'm fucking saying something wrong.
You're saying something right.
You get a new level, and each new level that gets opened up, you're able to adapt a different mindset and a different approach. You can stop at that level, or you can go, I want more levels. I want more fucking levels. I don't like seeing shit that I have no idea how to obtain or gain access to. That frustrates me. That frustrates me when people do things and I don't know how they do it or did it. Whether I'm going to do it or not, I want to know. When you're around people that work in different atmospheres, what do you do, man? Oh, man, I'm the guy that takes these labels right here. Simple labels right here. I have a manufacturing company where I do these, but I do them in bulk. So we do 1,000 labels every 30 seconds. And I built a manufacturing lab, and this company here pays me X on a dollar. And I got 35 companies doing the same thing. I've built a multi-million-dollar business based off labels. People don't understand how important labels are. I did at a young age, so I started manufacturing labels. You can manufacture fucking labels. Now I'm intrigued. Even if I didn't want to do that, I'm intrigued that that's a thing. I'm intrigued. Yes. I'm intrigued that you found a way to do that.
Yeah. So I love this clip from Kevin Hart describing life as a game of levels. And I fundamentally agree that it's simply about unlocking different levels. We all have the same hours in a day. Yeah, I'm reminded that Barack Obama had the same exact time in a day than us. I'm reminded that Taylor Swift has the same amount of hours in the day as us. It just depends what level you play on. And it's interesting because I will see people that work we had this discussion in my group chat recently about the flight attendants for Air Canada. And it's funny how we had this discussion about if they deserve this pay or not, and if they work hard. They were saying, well, people in Tim Hortons works harder than people that are flight attendants. Or doctors don't work as hard as people that are flight attendants, or you were comparing people that work hard or not. And the reality is that everyone is working hard, whether you are a doctor, whether you are an athlete, whether you are you work at Target, wherever it might be. Everyone is working hard. It's just it depends what level you are playing on, and people can be incredibly hardworking and have an incredibly hard work ethic, but the level that they're playing on might be that certain level. Somebody that's playing on, the infinite level may not be working as hard now that they're on that level. So it really depends on what the level that you're on. And I think the beauty of this, and what Kevin Hart didn't mention, is at the end of the day, this is all a competition for you. Like you're not actually competing against anybody else. The competition is with you, and you can choose to play on the level that you want to play on. And I'm reminded by that because I'm playing on this particular level, and I understand that if I want to get to the next level, I just need to unlock something to get to that next level. And I certainly want to play more levels in this life. And Kevin Hart and I also have, the same number of hours in a particular day. But it's how do you find those insights to unlock that new level? And to me, it's about finding a secret about that particular level, and in order to get to the next level. And you only find that secret by putting 1 million hours in that particular level to unlock that next level. And maybe sometimes, in life, there's a cheat code, just like how we played Super Mario Brothers and they gave you a cheat book and you could actually skip a level. Sometimes you can do that too. Sometimes at the club, there's you go to the back door and the bouncer opens the door, and that's what innovation is all about. You find a back door, you find that cheat code in order to skip another level to get to another levels. That's one way to do it, and the other way is to work your ass off to get to the next level. And so I just love this idea that if you want to unlock yourself to the next level, and what he's describing in this example with the bottle maker, label maker thing, is that this label maker has figured out a way to get to his level. And Kevin Hart is just saying, I'm just curious. I want to know how he got to that level. And one of the ways of getting to the next level is to find out how the other people got to their level. So I love this idea that if we look at our life and our business career as a game, and you are on this typical level, I think it's finding out how do you get to the next level. In fact, do this for me. Ask ChatGPT. I did this recently. Ask it to say, hey, give it verbal diarrhea. This is the level that I'm playing up right now. What would the next level above me look like? And how do I actually go off and get to that particular level? Incredible prompt. Use this and tell me what you get. All right. This next clip, you know how these kids say there's clip farming? This is clip farming right now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to drop the clip, and this is what clip farming is all about.
We do have this. I did fuck that up. 21 countries. Did you learn anything throughout is there anything at the end of the tour when you were wrapping up that you wish you had been doing the whole time? Is there anything you would do differently now that the entire tour is wrapped up?
No, I'm really glad that I didn't know it would have gone on as long as it did. Yeah. I'm glad that I got to actually be prepared for this tour the way that I was, because, in previous tours, I had noticed that I would get on the tour and I'd have to get my stamina up throughout the tour. And by the last quarter of the tour, I'd finally hit my stride stamina wise. And I'd be like, oh, I can do this easily every night.
Yeah.
I wanted to be at that point at the beginning of the Eras tour. So that's why I did so much more training, so much more endurance training and cardio and stuff that, doesn't come naturally because I'm not an athlete. So it's like that stuff I have to really force myself to do.
Don't you say that.
I mean,
don't you dare
it's
say
how
that.
I feel. And I don't even, it's not like I say that in a disparaging way. I don't care at all.
Okay, fair enough.
But
Okay, so I'm bringing this clip because, Taylor Swift is the absolute, greatest of all time in her particular field, in her particular, niche. One of the greatest artists of our generation, the best-selling artist on a tour of all time. I was incredibly excited to hear this podcast because I wanted them to break down her excellence, because I loved hearing about people that are, great in their particular field. I didn't really get that in this podcast, to be honest with you. It was more like, how they met and, how cute they are and great, which I didn't expect from a New Heights podcast, to be honest with you. I wanted to dive deep on her excellence, and this was like the one moment where she talked about it. Which is I love. It's a simple practice, but it's like if you want to prepare for something, if you want to be the greatest in the world at something, you have to prepare. You can't just wing it. You can't just get into the second half of what you're doing and then hit your stride. In this example, Taylor Swift obviously is putting in the work before the tour is happening in order to prepare herself to be the best self. And my belief is the reason why she was able to extend the tour is because, of course, she was prepared for it. She didn't burn out during the tour. I don't know if she burned out during the tour, but the fact that she added like more dates to the tour, which was already an insane tour, was crazy. So I'm just curious to see how she, approached her craft, her excellence. The reason why she's one of the greatest marketers, the reason why she's one of the greatest artists of all time is because of her work ethic. And I want to hear a little bit more about that. And so that was a clip from that. And, it's a great reminder if that you want to be great at something, or if you have something coming up, it's a matter of preparation. And, I'm reminded about, my schedule coming up over the next number of months, which is, if you saw my dates over the next number of months, compared to the Taylor Swift tour, you'd be like, this is equally as insane. Different levels. We were playing on different levels, but equally as insane. And it's a reminder to me, and this is part of the reason why I do this pod, to be honest with you, is to just remind myself that I got to continue to put in the work, is to continuously prepare, rehearse, do my things so that I am ready. So when the tour comes up, that I'm completely prepared. Taylor Swift, by the way, this was a great podcast. I listened to most of the podcast. I just like grew more. I just became more of a fan of Taylor Swift, to be honest with you. After this, she just seems like a really cool, like normal person. And I'm not sure why I didn't think that she was, but like she is a very cool, normal person. And it's a great reminder that, normal people can also be some of the greatest of all time as well. I mean, it's like I look at other people like Prince or Michael Jackson. These people were weirdos, and she's like incredibly normal. So I grew a love for Taylor Swift. I don't love her music, to be honest with you. I'm more of a Drake person, if you're listening to this pod, I'm more of a Drake person. But I grew some. I definitely like her more. I like her as a person. I think she's great. So that was my clip farming. The reason why I'm saying it's clip farming, because if I put up a clip of Taylor Swift, it always goes. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It always goes. All right. Thank you so much for joining me on this pod. Rate, review, subscribe, whatever you got to do, and we'll see you guys on the next one.